Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Back on Stage Live. I'm your host, Ruben Avery, and in this live cast, we discuss all things music in the context of your career as a working musician or band leader. This is an open forum where musicians and band leaders come together to share their experiences and expertise. The goal here really is for everyone to benefit from our collective knowledge and so that we can more efficiently grow our live music businesses. After all, none of us chose a career in music because we wanted to spend all day in front of our computers sending emails. We're entertainers because we love entertaining, so let's build each other up and be a part of the revolution of new gig workers, taking our industry out of the dark ages and moving ourselves towards a brighter future where we can all perform way more, make way more money, and do a lot less boring, tedious admin work. So if you're already a member of our Back on Stage app community because you use our software to manage your music project, welcome back. And if you're not using Back on Stage yet, welcome to you as well. I encourage you to head over to backonstageapp.com and check us out for your 30-day free trial. We'd love to see you growing your music business with our tools. I will say most bands that come our way shave at least 3 hours of admin work off of every single booking, which of course increases their gig capacity and revenue. They also save thousands of dollars a year on their software costs and are easily able to take on 5 to 10 times more gigs without breaking a sweat. So if you're interested in checking out how you can stress less and gig more, come check us out. So as I said, this show is intended to be an open dialogue. So if you're joining us for the first time, please click on the join button underneath my face so that you can join the fan spotlight down there. That way I'm able to invite you on stage and share your ideas if you're comfortable doing so. You're also welcome to post freely in our chat area on the right-hand side there, and we can answer your questions from there as well. And I do want to mention that today is being recorded also, so if you miss any part of it or would like to catch up on anything you've missed in the past, you're welcome to head over to backonstageapp.com and click on the live button at the top to find all of our past Back on Stage live episodes there as well. All right, so today's episode, I'm thrilled to have a visionary guest with us today, Sam Miller. He's the founder and CEO of mySet. His passion for music and innovative spirit has led him to be at the forefront of revolutionizing the live music experience. So his platform, mySet, is designed to empower musicians and engage audiences like never before. Sam's journey in creating mySet was fueled by his desire to bridge the gap between artists and their fans, making live music more interactive and enjoyable. And as a leader and entrepreneur, his dedication to enhancing the live music scene has made a significant impact in the industry. So I'm excited to dive into this story behind mySet and the challenges and triumphs of their journey and the exciting future it promises for performers and music lovers alike. So Sam's here to chat with us about that and do a quick demo of his very cool app. So I'm going to invite Sam on stage with me now to chat about that.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Sam, welcome to Back on Stage Live.
Nice to be here.
Awesome. Well, great to have you. And yeah, like I said in the intro there, I think your app is super cool. I discovered you guys a few months ago, and I wish I had I wish I discovered you a lot sooner because my band is not currently performing regularly anywhere, but we had a 7-year gig in a bar, and could have definitely used something like this to help boost our revenue on those slower nights and on the faster nights as well. So
Yeah.
I wish I knew about you guys sooner, and hopefully there are some people checking this out that are in my shoes when I was 10 years ago and can utilize this to their advantage now. So to get us started here, tell us a bit about mySet. What is it? What is it for, and sort of who is it for, and what problem are you guys helping to solve?
Yeah, great question. So just a high level background of the software. We went to a bar in New Orleans. This was back in 2017, and we being myself and co-founder, and just decided that, not having cash wasn't a great opportunity to interact with the people on stage. We had musicians walking around with tip jars. We had people asking for us to go to the ATM, and we just thought that there was a better solution for that. And so we went to the drawing board. I had a little bit of a background in technology. He had a background in kind of the analytics side of the house. And so we just, collaborated and created this app. So it's a phone app for musicians, performers, cover bands, anyone that interacts with their audience. And it allows people to send you a song request. So they can leave a tip, they can send a song request, they can leave a comment saying, "Hey, it's my birthday. Can you please shout out all of my friends and let us have a good time." And then you, as a performer, would get a notification directly to your phone saying, "Hey, John requested this song for $10." And so it just streamlines that whole process that's been happening for decades in the music space. But it really just helps people in the audience that are maybe a little bit timid or don't want to actually, come up to the stage, still have that fan engagement experience. And it really opens the door for you to communicate with them because now they're getting out of their comfort shell. They're, sharing their song request, and you can say, "Hey, where's John?" in the audience, and then open that dialogue between them and really kind of create a unique experience and a moment for them.
Yeah, that's super cool. I think that's yeah, one of the biggest challenges is sort of connecting with your fans. They're like right there in front of you, but all you can do is
Yeah,
kind of wave at them and smile at them. But this sort of brings that extra layer in to say, okay, now we know their name. We can call somebody out. We know
right.
what song they like. And
Yeah,
of
there's
course,
nothing worse than an empty room and you're saying, "Hey, what do you guys want to hear?" Kind of giving your spiel over and over and it's just crickets. And so, this is kind of that fun, engaging atmosphere like, "Hey, everybody, scan this and you can see all the songs that I know how to play. You can request a song that I don't know how to play and I can try and learn it on the fly." And so
mm,
it creates that two-way connection that sometimes you just really don't have, especially in kind of major tourist markets where people are coming in and they're more, I guess, concerned with their food and their drink than who's on stage. And so this kind of, brings everyone back to what's the best part about some of the bar experiences is the live music.
absolutely. Yeah, what I really like about it too is that, not everybody is that extroverted guy or gal who's going to jump up and request a song or yell it out from their table or whatever. So, with the scan and do it on your phone sort of thing, it sort of appeals to anyone. And it also kind of reins in those people who are maybe a little too obnoxious as well. I find that's always been a struggle for my group is when we're up there and you've got that one or two people who are super drunk and just heckling you all night and like, "We want to hear Sweet Caroline, Sweet Caroline." And they're just like yelling it
Right.
all night. And you're like, well, scan that, go make your song request. And
Yep. Put your money where your mouth is, basically.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Put your money where your mouth is and get in line. Let's, give everybody a fair shot. So it's not just the squeakiest
Yeah.
wheel that gets the grease, but everybody gets a shot. So I love that.
Yeah.
um, what were some of the initial challenges you guys faced with building this? I mean, I'm an app developer now myself. Turned this from from the music world. Obviously, there are tons of challenges and things you have to overcome. And you guys have a moderate tech background anyway, I guess. But yeah, to take us through some of the challenges of getting this thing to market and maybe even some of the things you're facing now, if any.
Yeah, absolutely. So, taking it back to 2019, when we were about to launch our first version, we built out kind of an initial set of features that we kind of thought would be super helpful. And anytime you're building a product, it's kind of hard to narrow down exactly what people are going to love and really gravitate towards, and some of the features that maybe people just don't use that much. And so, we kind of wanted to add everything in at the beginning and had to kind of tame ourselves and bring it back to what is actually the most important. But long story short, we launched in January of 2020, which we thought was the best timing in the world. We moved to Nashville, kind of hit the ground running. If you're familiar with Broadway, it's the main street. There's live music literally every hour of the day, every day of the year, basically. And so we started getting it in the hands of people, getting feedback, getting partnerships with venues, and then COVID happened, and we had to kind of figure out how people were going to make song requests when there were no shows. And so we, being 2 months into the market, we had to immediately kind of transform our product to something that was more of a universal solution, not just for something, when you're in the room with a performer. And so in the beginning, we only had a phone app. So if you were to go to a bar, you would have had to download an app and request a song, which anyone that's had two or three beers probably doesn't want to do that whenever they're out and about. So we kind of went back to the drawing board and decided, hey, let's build out an entire web-based side for the fans and the people in the bar or viewing online, and then let people interact with that and not have any app download. So over the next few months, as the everyone was inside for the pandemic, we did Facebook live streams, YouTube live, Twitch streams, and let people use that web-based software to send song requests. And so a lot of our first year in the marketplace was really trying to figure out where the world was going and how we could best help people through the pandemic. But I mean, in the first few weeks, we made people thousands and thousands of dollars, and people reached out individually and said, "Hey, like you helped me pay my rent this month. Hey, you helped me do this and this." And so it was really rewarding to kind of get that feedback from the people on the platform.
That's awesome. What a cool story. Yeah, COVID was definitely probably the biggest challenge our modern music industry's ever faced.
Right.
But yeah, that's super cool. You guys were right there at the beginning of it. We actually launched ourselves in September 2020. So kind of in the middle of everything, and definitely feel your pains on the on that front. But
Yeah.
wow, yeah. So did you guys actually move to New Orleans specifically to launch this and sort of get it in hands of people?
Yeah, so actually Logan, co-founder, he moved back there after he graduated from college, so he was already in Nashville. But I ended up moving in with him and being roommates with him for about 2 years, and so we really kind of wanted to be where the action was and where a lot of performers was, because everyone in country music, they're like, let's go to Nashville, let's get our start, let's cut our record and make a name for ourselves. So we wanted to be in the weeds. I mean, some people argue it's Dallas Fort Worth, some people will say Austin, but really Nashville just has such a cool energy about it, and live music is constantly going on, whether it's the writers rounds or it's the cover shows on Broadway. And so yeah, we moved there and just wanted to get into the neighborhoods and try and understand exactly how people were using the product.
Interesting. So I assume you guys were going to a lot of shows and just how would you do it? Just hand out cards and hope for the best, or were you reaching out
Yeah,
to
I
people?
mean, kind of, we were trying to figure out the marketing initially, but we actually printed out little business card size things and put a little not a staple, but like a paper clip with a $10 bill, and gave tips to people and said like, hey, we're giving you a cash tip, but like here's a better solution. Like, please check us out. It had like all of our information on it, and we were somewhat successful with that. Just kind of getting FaceTime with artists, because every time they're going through their tip jar, counting everything up, it's like, oh, what's this mySet thing? And so that was one thing we did. And then also every 4 hours in Nashville, they'd kind of do a shift change. So going in at the 2 o'clock or six o'clock shift change, and kind of getting people whether coming in or going out and just saying, hey, have you heard about this? Let me do you have 2 minutes? Everyone's trying to get back to their car so they don't have to pay an extra hour of parking. And
Right.
we we kind of just stop people on the street.
That's awesome. What a cool idea. I love that, of being able to just show up at the shows with the $10 tip and stamp your card to it. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
had to think outside of the box.
Yeah, no kidding. Were you and Logan friends before you started this venture?
Yeah, we had a lot of mutual friends when we went to college together, and had ran into each other a ton of times on campus. So whenever all that was said and done, it was we were pretty good friends, not roommates or anything, but being roommates for 2 years definitely made things a lot more fun.
Yeah, no kidding. And why specifically something in music? I guess if you guys have app skills and stuff, there's so many opportunities out there or other things to go into, I guess. But was it a specific impetus behind why you chose to go this route with your app development stuff, or was it really just that you saw that problem and wanted to solve that first? Or
I think both of us have always had kind of a background in playing music. We both play a little bit of guitar. We both have went to a lot of live music shows and kind of concerts, and so we both had that passion for it. And I think it was the right place, right time situation. I was working as like a developer at a internship, and he kind of came to me and said, "Hey, let's give this a shot." And so I think our love of music, and then having that development background, it kind of just made sense. And anytime you're building a product, you learn a lot about what to do and what not to do. So you know, this was our first project that we worked on together, but it kind of helped us really get into the technology space and understand what it takes to get something out there into the market.
That's awesome. Cool. I didn't know you both played guitar. That's awesome. Well, cool.
Not
That's
probably not as good as you in the 7 year gig, but know enough to be dangerous.
oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I always tell everybody it's something that I think a lot of people want to do, even if they don't do it enough. And I'm always telling people it's never too late. Get back in there, pick up an instrument, even if it's just for you. Like
Right,
I
right.
play piano. I grew up playing piano, and then I studied trumpet, but um, piano is still my first love, and I still play, but that's kind of the me instrument now, and I don't do it professionally most of the time, but I'll just sit at home and entertain myself, and I'm like it's such a therapeutic thing too. So I
Yeah.
encourage everybody to get back to it. So you still find time for your guitar these days?
It has a little dust on it, but we still, find time every now and then.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that story. That's yeah, super interesting to get that background on you guys and how this all came about. I'm sure everyone's itching to take a look at what this thing actually does. So let's transition over to the demo. I know you've got your
Yeah.
screens there ready to go. What do you want to start with? What are you showing us? And yeah, take us through it.
Yeah, so I think it's important to see kind of what the fan sees on their end. So, if you imagine yourself in a cover or in a bar and you're playing a show, and how is this going to work for my use case? And so anyone that signs up on our platform, we immediately reach out to them and ask if they want any sort of banner design, any sort of business cards designed, because somehow you're going to have to get your fan to scan a QR code, whether it's a laminated sheet of paper you put next to your tip jar, whether it's something you actually pass out, or whether it's a 6 foot tall giant banner with your logo and a QR code on it. And so we reach out and we provide those design services. Logan and myself, we work with you to come up with something that fits your look and feel and your brand guidelines for your group. And then people will be able to scan that at your show. And so when they do that, they're presented with this screen here. And so what this is basically the web version that I was talking about earlier. You have your profile picture, your name of the group, and then you have the core feature, which is to request a song. And so under this area, you as an artist can add all of the songs that you know how to play. And you can also add originals as well. And so whenever you go into your profile, any song that is on Spotify, you can search and you can add that song, and then it comes onto this page. Now people can go in, request a song, or they can, and it looks like someone is saying they can't see the screen share, so I'm not sure if it's updating for you as well. Um,
I'm seeing it fine on my end, but
Let me see if I can just refresh it just so we can see, and I can just keep walking through it as well. But basically, anyone can, come onto this landing page and they can request a song. All they have to do is put in their phone number to verify that they're a real person, and they can put a song request in. And they can also pay with Apple Pay, they can pay with Google Pay, and it's a very fast and seamless checkout. Now, the cool thing about our software is when multiple people go in and request a song, they can actually pool their money together. So if you and I are in a bar and I request a song for $10, then it will actually come through and say that's the first place song. Then I could go in and add $1 to it, or you could go in and add $5 to it to boost your song up to the top. And so it kind of creates an interactive, capability for the people in the audience as well. You can say, hey, I'm not going to play Sweet Home Alabama until it reaches $40 or $50, and then kind of encourage multiple people to go in and put a tip in for that individual song.
yeah.
And then on the other side of the house, you have the mobile app view. And Not sure if it's, not updating for you guys as well. Let me see if I can just refresh this.
I'm
Um,
seeing you request a song screen here on my end.
I can just go over to our video here and then kind of show exactly what that looks like, and maybe that'll be a little bit easier on the sharing side. Is that coming through or no?
It's not playing. I see a couple of screens hovering there, but
Okay,
should
well,
it?
I can just at least talk through it for the time being, and we can go into the Q&A. But basically, on the artist side, you have a view where you can see all of the songs that are coming in. You can see the individuals that are requesting the songs. You can see the amount of the song request, and then you can also see any comments that they left. So, people say happy birthday. They can say, we're in town from this area. It just kind of gives you all of the details all in one place. And so it's just a really easy ecosystem. So as an artist, all you have to do is sign up for the app. You can add your songs that you know how to play, and then you just add a bank account so that you can get paid, of course. And I did see there was one question about whether or not this is an American only thing with bank accounts from Dominique. And just to address that, we do support every country in the world. We are primarily based in the United States. That's kind of our default bank account method, but we'd be happy to send you a secure link where you can sign up and add all of your bank account information as well. But yeah, that's the gist of it. That's kind of how everything works together. People can scan your QR code, request songs, and interact with you, and then really just drive home that connection.
Nice. Yeah. And I guess you collect the email addresses through this as well. Is that right? Or
Yeah, that's right. And we actually do two things for all of the artists. We can provide them with either just a export CSV of all of their information so that you can add that into your mailing list or add that into your single release kind of email blast, or we can actually give you a live dashboard that like constantly updates after your shows with all of the information. And not only is it email that we can provide to you, we can give phone numbers as well. So I know a lot of artists are now doing like text messaging for singles, and kind of having that interaction that's a little bit less formal and a little bit more casual. And so we actually provide those as well. So if you wanted to send out a mass text message saying, hey, go check out this or check out that, we also provide that information as well.
oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I was curious. Do you guys have stats on like average tip amounts per song, or um, like how often people sort of do use this stuff?
hmm What I
Yeah.
can tell you is the average song request price, and a lot of people are somewhat surprised by this, but it's $19. So,
Wow.
obviously it depends on what area of the country you're in and how popular the song requesting culture is. But, a lot of times in more touristy places like Florida, Texas, Nashville, $20 to $30 requests are not super unheard of. But one of the things that's really interesting or cool about our app is we can set song minimums and a global minimum. So you can say, my global minimum for all my songs is $5. I'm not going to play any songs less than that. And so anytime someone tries to request a song, that's the lowest that they can enter. But then you could also go into your profile and say, hey, I play these songs like every time I play, and I really just don't want to play them. You can set those as $40, $50, $100,
Nice.
$1,000 if you really want to, and let people kind of see those reflective prices whenever they get to your profile. And so it allows you to kind of have a little bit of wiggle room on the songs that you have to play, and want to play as well.
Yeah, interesting. Do you find that people are requesting the same song like throughout the night, or would some table that was you having dinner from 6 to 7 request one song and then another group request it again later, or is there something in there that lets that song only get played once in a set, or
A lot of the people we work with play 4 hour sets, so there's a lot of, overlap. Some people that are maybe only doing 90 minutes, may not want to play the same song, but, it really just depends on how you want to interact with it. And what I recommend, we don't necessarily have a thing that says, hey, this song's already been played. But if you
Mm.
see that song come in again, you can say, hey, I just played this 20 minutes ago before you guys walked in. How about this other tune by Alan Jackson? Or how about this other tune that's similar? And kind of, just use it as a talking point and say, like, hey, we all want to hear Wagon Wheel, but we can't listen to Wagon Wheel all day, and kind of, make a joke out of it. So that's the cool part about it is, people can do custom songs and songs from your list. And so you can really, it doesn't have to be a formal, like, I can only play this song. You can kind of use it as a jumping off point because some people request a custom song that you may have no idea where to even start, or maybe you're a solo guy and it's something with a crazy, 5 piece band backing track or something, and you just like, there's no way I can play this. Or maybe, your voice is, super sore from, singing for 3 hours and they're requesting some crazy high song that you're like, I just can't do this or I'm not going to be able to talk tonight. And so, that's where we recommend people go in and just say, hey, how about this other song? And then they can still get the song request value from it without, turning anyone away.
Okay. And would you? I think I remember this from talking to Logan in the past, but does the person not get charged like when they say, okay, I'm going to pay $5 for this song request? If you say you're not going to play that song, do you get to like slash that off your list and refund their money, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I was trying to show that on the app when coming up, but basically anytime a song comes in with all that information, there's a check box and an X box. So if you check it, that's when the customer is actually charged for the song request. And if you click X, there's no charge for them. But what happens is we send an automatic message on their behalf that says, hey, so and so didn't play this song. Here's the link if you want to request another one. And so we kind of get them to go back to the list and maybe request another one. But I guess that's why I made the point of, opening it up as a conversation rather than just immediately denying it is sometimes the best case because you can really, hear what they have to say about it.
Yeah, because I guess you could, if it's a small enough gig or whatever, you can always ask them to come to the stage, or be like, hey, are you okay if I play this song instead? And then still take their
Yeah.
money, but make them
Yeah.
happy another way. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Cool. Yeah, so $19 average song request price. That's pretty awesome. Do you guys know sort of on average how much people would make in over the course of a whole show?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on how incorporated you want to use it. I can say that our top people on the platform crossed over $50,000 in total song requests last year.
Wow.
So if you really push it and make that a core part of your set, you can do really well from it. But some people may not want to do only requests all night long. And so, at $20 a song request over 2 or 3 hours, I mean, we have a lot of people that do an extra $300 a night, and some people that only do an extra $100 a night. But a lot of factors go into that. It's time of the year, what kind of venue you're playing at. But the takeaway really is that people really enjoy doing song requests, and I've even gotten feedback like compared to a Venmo that people feel like with this they can see the list of songs, they can make a request. It feels more like they're getting something in return, whereas with Venmo and other apps where it's just like, hey, here's a tip, people don't have as good of a feeling with that. They feel like it's more of a donation and tip, whereas the song requesting thing is more of an experience and kind of fun. And so people that use this as part of their show really kind of have a lot of good experiences with people in the bar.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you guys find with like you've got different ways for getting this QR code to people with the 5 foot banners and the or just a little sheet at the side of the stage or something on the tables? Do you find there's a particular method there that works any better than others for people to actually get engaged?
I think it goes back to what you were saying about people's personalities. If you're really good on the mic and getting people to, do what you say on the mic, then having something that's a little bit smaller can work for you. We talked with a guy a few weeks ago out of New Orleans, and he literally printed out 15 white sheets of paper that said request my songs, and it was like a big QR code, and he put them like at the bar, on the stage monitors, like by the door, and it was like every other song he was like, hey everybody, scan this and you can see all the songs I play. And like he was doing really well with the app because that was kind of how he wanted to use it. He wanted to just get as many requests as possible. And so whether it's a big tall banner that you have one QR code for the whole bar, or whether you have 10 QR codes all over the place, I think the key is just making people aware of the fun that they're going to have of the system, because
Mm.
a lot of people are curious and they maybe scan the QR code on your banner, but they don't know what that actually leads to unless you kind of inform them about that. And so a lot of people do have banners and it just goes to a link tree or it goes to their social media, and people aren't as interested in scanning that as soon as they come into the bar. They may scan it on their way out to follow you and see where you're playing. But when you kind of inform them of the game of the night, they really enjoy that and kind of gravitate towards it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, interesting. For those of you just joining us, I know some people have jumped in here. We're talking to Sam with mySet here today. Really cool song request app that musicians can use live on stage. Feel free to check them out. It's mysetmusic.com, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we do have a question from Kim here, who's actually one of our early adopters. She was her and her husband Jeremy were some of the people that used it through COVID and in the past. But she asks about how to get those emails and phone numbers. I'll drop the email in the chat, but you can just send an email to info@mysetmusic.com, and we'll generate that dashboard for you and get you all your information.
Awesome. Cool. So the dashboard's something people have to request then once they're signed up.
Yeah, and the only reason we do that is we didn't want to put it into the app because it's not really like a super user friendly way to like get the data out of a phone app and get it into whatever, is your preferred method. And not everyone is necessarily doing marketing and newsletters and stuff like that. And so we kind of put messaging in the app now that directs people towards that. But if you don't have a need for it, then we don't want to just have it there to have it there. And so it's kind of a case by case basis, but everyone, from your team and everyone that comes through, this call will definitely help them with that.
Awesome. Cool. Good to know. Very cool. So yeah, so great way to make some extra cash throughout the show, engage the fans. Yeah, I wanted to sort of sidebar a little bit because I mentioned this to Logan a long time ago when I met him, but one thing that my band has started doing at our public shows recently, which has been quite successful for us in terms of just building our fan list and our email list, is that we were doing prize giveaways throughout the night. And in order to enter the prize draw, you had to scan our QR code, and that took you to a little form on a page where you filled out your name and email address, and then we'd get all that stuff live on the stage and be able to choose our winners there. And we were finding that, yeah, lots of people were signing up. We'd have, I think it was almost like 30 to 50% of the people who were in the audience were scanning this thing and jumping onto the mailing list. It was a much better result than we'd ever had, like leaving a sign-up sheet at the door or something like that, or even having a merch table and having a sign-up sheet there. Just people just don't put their emails down there, and if
Right.
they do, they're writing it half the time you can't read it because they're a little drunk or whatever, and you're just like taking your best shot when you're inputting it all later. So obviously the QR codes are really accessible. I think that's one really nice thing that COVID did for the world, is it taught us all how to scan a QR code.
Yeah.
Even
the menus
with their iPads are like, they still get it,
Right.
So that helps things like mySet, and when you have to get that QR code to get into the system, that's no longer a barrier. So that's pretty cool. And I think for people kind of looking for ways to engage their audiences better, the song request thing is super cool, because obviously that's a way to kind of exchange value with your audience. and prizes is another way to do that. So if you couple the two together, maybe that could be a really winning combination to maybe have one master QR code that brings them to your link tree or something that you just slim it up for that show. So that's just got two options there, maybe request a song or enter the prize draw, or maybe if mySet in the future does some sort of a prize feature or
Yeah.
something where you're like requesting a song also puts you into the prize draw or something. Or I guess you could just do that. Because
Yeah.
with that specific show in mySet right now, like keep a log of who's requested a song and what
Yeah, so
you've charged.
your dashboard will show all of the people for any individual event. So you can kind of break it down per event, per month, per phone number or email. So you can kind of, drill down a little bit and figure out, if you only, because, some guys we work with are, doing minor tours. And so they're going Oklahoma, Texas, go to all these different places. And so they collect phone numbers and emails from individual shows so that whenever they come back to that circuit of shows, they can send a message and say, hey, I'm coming back through Tulsa. All these people, that were specifically at that show, they can reach out to directly. And so it
Mm.
kind of really helps them, make sure that they're not doing a shotgun approach of sending it to everybody, but only the people that would actually get value out of it. And on that note of like, adding it to your link tree, we allow people to put all of their social media handles on our platform as well. So if
Mm.
they come to mySet, you can see all of the Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff at the bottom. So it's just another way that people can engage and have all of your information at the tip of their fingers.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I guess then that would be just as easy then for you to just say, okay, request a song, and then with every song request, you also get into our prize draw, and then you just do
Yep.
it all on that one interface because you've got the
Right.
list of all the song requests, and it's easy enough to just go through and pick your winner and hand out your merch bag or whatever.
Right.
Um, yeah, really cool. What I also love about this is that it's kind of stealth in terms of how you get money from people, because like I know some venues or some places it wouldn't be cool to pass around a tip hat or walk around to tables on
Right.
your break and ask for money.
hmm
And it also doesn't look great as an artist, right? You don't want
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy looking like a beggar going table to table asking for your money, please. Not to
Right.
mention, a lot of people don't carry cash these days, so it's pretty hard to get anything from people.
Right.
But this way, it's like you don't have to mention there's a cost involved, and
hmm
you don't have to have a cost too, I guess, right? Because your minimum amount you can set in your own mySet app to be $0 if you want to, so people could request a
Right.
song for free.
hmm
But yeah, nobody knows that there's anything to do with money until they actually get into the app there. So you can freely throw those QR codes around, and even venue managers who might be trying to take a chunk of your merch sales or anything like that might even
hmm
go unnoticed. So
Yeah, absolutely. And just like on the note of merch, I know a lot of people are moving away from bulk orders, of all their stuff and carrying it to their event. We actually offer merchandise through our platform. So you can do it
hmm,
in one of two ways. You can do a local pickup option. So anyone that uses the platform to buy a t-shirt, you can deliver it to them at the show, whether it's your merch booth or afterwards. But we also offer print on demand merchandise. So that's basically any artist can give us their logo or give us their t-shirt design, and we upload it into their store, and they don't have to pay anything at all. Basically, someone would order it. We would handle all of the fulfillment, printing it, shipping it to the actual person's address, and then they would just get a check or a payment really at the end of the month to see all of the amounts that they're making. And so obviously you're not making as much as doing your own merch because of the margins, but it's still a nice amount that you can make without any upfront cost.
yeah, for sure. Well, and I think with merchandise too, it's like even if you make more per item by buying things in bulk, the problem
hmm
is you're almost never going to sell all that. T-shirts are
Right.
the worst because you never know how many sizes of
hmm
how many of each size you're going to need. So you always end up with
Yeah.
like a bunch of extra smalls that never got sold or a bunch of extra larges or whatever. So yeah, I almost say it's less wasteful, and it's also merchandise. Yeah, depending on the merch, I almost see merchandise these days as really just the way to build our fan list, because
Hmm.
it's everybody loves free stuff, and
Right.
if you're giving away free stuff at your shows, that's usually an incentive enough for people to jump onto your mailing list. And
Hmm.
that's, email addresses are gold these days, and phone numbers even more so, with the open rates you get on a text message these days. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier to cut through the spam with those. So yeah, personally, I almost see merchandise more as just an advertising expense rather than a revenue channel. I mean, unless
Hmm.
you're at the scale of a Bruno Mars or Beyonce type act where you're
Yeah.
selling thousands of dollars in merch at every show. But that's just not going to be a reality for most of us. So that's
Right. Right.
cool. I didn't know you guys did the on demand stuff. So that's really cool. Can people buy that within the app as well then?
Yeah, so if you have a merchandise store right below the song request area, it'll just say My Merch Store. And then we offer all sorts of sizes from extra small up to like 4X, as well as multiple colorways as well. It's a really nice Bella canvas, soft material, so it's not that cheap Gildan feeling. It's actually the good stuff. And so, yeah, that's obviously not something that everyone utilizes. But the cool thing about doing merch is you can really try out a few different designs or logos or anything. You could add 15 different T-shirts and variants onto your store for no additional cost. So, like you said, you don't have to worry about having 20 extra small in purples. It's just you have
Mm.
exactly what's on your store, and if no one buys it, then there's no overhead with it.
Yeah, awesome. Is it just t-shirts you guys are doing them for merch, or are there other items as well?
We do t-shirts mainly. Most of the stuff that isn't t-shirt related, we offer only like the pickup in person option. If there's any like use case, we can work with them on that. Our provider is pretty open on the stuff that they print and ship. So it's just one of those things that if you feel like you can really push merch at the store and at your shows, then we'll help you with that. But most people, like you said, are kind of using merch in a different way now, not necessarily pushing it as hard as they used to.
Mm, yeah, right. Okay, interesting. Good to know. Cool. We've got a few people checking us out still here. If there are questions from any of you guys for Sam or back on stage or whatever we've been discussing here today, feel free to post them in the chat or the questions tab there. Yeah, we answered that one about banking. I'm just going to check off our unanswered questions here. So yeah, any more questions, feel free to jump in there and ask away. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to ask you here today. I mean, we've kind of gone over lots of cool tips for things artists can do to kind of maximize their song requests and stuff, from calling it out from stage to printing those banners, putting them around on tables. Um, Anything else that you want to share that you think might be a good tip for helping people maximize their usage of your mySet app, and put this out to all the viewers here as well? If there's any other fun ideas you guys can come up with, feel free to throw them into the chat there and share them. But yeah, what do you think?
Not necessarily tips, but I can maybe just speak on some of the things that we have planned for release this summer. The two biggest initiatives we're working on is allowing you as a performer to have multiple set lists. So we have a lot of people that, have a country set, or they have a acoustic set
Mhm.
and then a band set. And so that's one of the things we're hoping to launch this summer, is basically you can set up all of your different mini profiles of, here's my country set. And whenever you start an event, you can choose which one you want to play from, so that you don't have to worry about, people requesting songs for a band when you're playing by yourself. And then the other thing is a new payout method. So previously we've done debit card and bank account payouts, but we're also going to be adding PayPal as a checkout method, or a payout method. People want to, just get that money instantly and be able to, transfer it or whatever else. And so all you would have to do is put in your PayPal email, and you could use that as a payout method as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, because it's was it Stripe right now that you guys were using?
Yep, using Stripe. So, we just get the name, address, all that kind of stuff whenever you sign up. But with PayPal, it's just an email that we would need.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's cool to know. Um, awesome. Just looking ahead to my other questions here to see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Um, yeah, it's such a cool app that you guys are doing and so needed. Like I said, I wish I knew about it 20 years ago or 10 years ago, I guess, when it would have been really useful for us. Um, but yeah, alas, I'm looking forward to getting out into the public again and trying this out. We onboarded with you guys a couple months ago. We got our song list in there, so I think the multi-set feature will actually be really handy because, yeah, as you say, it's for my case, it's we have certain songs that certain singers can sing, and if they're not on that gig, then we might not be able to do that song. And yeah, certain ones that sound better with different configurations of the band, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, being able to have that stuff, or even just songs that are like really dusty and we haven't performed them in 5 years and would rather not tonight, that kind of thing. Be good to take those off the list and not accidentally get a $70 tip for some tune we really can't play. So
Right, right.
that'll be really handy. Um, cool. So yeah, so those are future developments you guys are working on. Yeah, and we talked a little bit about having sort of there was going to be a code we were going to share. I don't know if you got around to sending me that or not, Sam, but we'll put that up. We're going to send an email out after this is live in our blog. So if you guys want sort of some white glove treatment as you onboard into mySet, feel free to use our link and code that we'll be sharing after this live cast to do that. And Sam and Logan will make sure you guys are fully onboarded as best as they can be with the back on stage preferential treatment, I guess
Absolutely.
we'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Let's see. Dominique is asking about PayPal addresses, the Canadian issue as well. Yeah, okay, so he'd prefer to use that. That's good feedback. Cool. So I don't see any other questions popping up here in our chat. So I'm going to assume all 5 of you folks watching us right now are good to go with the information you've got here today from Sam. Once again, to check out the recording of this, if you had to step away at any point and want to come back for any more information in the future, backonstageapp.com is where you want to go. Hit the live button in our navigation there to find all of our past live casts. The past few weeks, we've done some episodes on sort of mastering weddings and getting more of that going on in your music business. Last week, we talked with a veteran sound technician and shared some insights on the best sound systems to use for your band in various contexts. And over the next few weeks, we'll be interviewing more of our partners like Sam to talk about their cool and unique apps and softwares for helping your music business. So come back again every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time to join us for more of these great talks and bring your questions because there's lots of stuff here to learn. So, Sam, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your time and this incredible resource with us. And yeah, good luck with the rest of your developments there. I know you guys have other things going on as well, which is exciting. But yeah, good luck to you and Logan and the rest of the team there with mySet.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Cool. And yeah, so it's mysetmusic.com if you want to sign up and try out mySet for your next band gig. And anything else you want to share with us, Sam? If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, they can email me directly at sam@mysetmusic.com. We also have a phone number right on our website that you can call or text anytime, and we get back to you with kind of any direct questions or comments.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks again. And thank you everyone for joining us and checking this out today. You've been with us on Back on Stage Live. We'll see you right back here next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Happy gigging, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you.